and this is Meteorologist John Jurgens. Now we have continuing coverage of a severe thunderstorm warning now for Winnebago County. This does include the city of Rockford. So if you are looking for continuing coverage on different platforms, we are on WREX.com, on the 13 News app and the 13 Weather app, as well as our YouTube and Facebook pages. If you are on Facebook, make sure to send in any comments, any reports that you have, or if you have any questions, make sure to send them on in. But we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for the city of Rockford and most of Winnebago County, including Winnebago, as well as Loves Park, McChesney Park, Roscoe, Rockton, and South Beloit. So I know we have Old Settlers Days going on, so we really want to be making sure people are staying safe here as we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for most of Winnebago County. We'll put on the radar with the lightning data as well, as we are seeing tremendous amounts of lightning with this. I can hear it. It's just to the south of our station. Let's zoom this in here. Looking at this activity in mostly pretty much right on top of the village of Winnebago right now. This is US 20, and then there's where the bypass splits off. So this is State Street in Rockford, and then there's the bypass going through the south side of Rockford. There's 11th Street, that's 251, and then there's the split off with I-39 down to Ogle County. So we're watching this thunderstorm pretty much right on top of Winnebago right now, moving off to the north and east. So it looks like mainly the west and north sides of Rockford will be dealing with the brunt of this activity, and especially moving towards the Loves Park and McChesney Park areas here in the next few minutes. So we're going to continue to kind of just repeat this information because people will be jumping on this live stream here very much, as we continue to get this coming through. People are getting alerts on their phone, wondering what's the deal. Now we've got a severe thunderstorm warning in place. So I want to pretty much zoom out here just to show kind of the whole area here that's under this severe thunderstorm warning. So this includes Winnebago, this includes Rockford, this includes Loves Park and McChesney Park, as well as Roscoe, Rockton, and South Beloit. This does not include Cherry Valley. It looks like it's going to pass just to the north of Cherry Valley and New Milford. However, we just heard from the National Weather Service that the Rockford Airport gusted to 54 miles per hour. Now, that is just below severe strength, and they are far off to the south of this thunderstorm. My finger right here is on the Rockford Airport, and then there's the thunderstorm right near Winnebago right now, and that activity is going to be moving into the city of Rockford and then to the parks, Loves Park and McChesney Park here, in the next about 20 minutes or so. This is moving. Let me just get a quick update here on the storm track. I'm hearing the rain pretty loud on our roof right now. Let's get an update on the motion for this thunderstorm. Moving at about 40 miles per hour. So let's get a good time here in terms of when we can expect the brunt of the thunderstorm activity to be reaching you. So if we're talking about 40-ish miles per hour here, we're talking about pretty much downtown Rockford here in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, and then into Loves Park and McChesney Park closer to 410, Roscoe, Rockton, South Beloit close to 415, 420, and then heading into northern Boone County. Boone is not in this severe thunderstorm warning, but Poplar Grove, be on the lookout at about 425, 430, Capron between 430 and 440 for this thunderstorm to be rolling through if it can hold together. We have seen this thunderstorm really starting to intensify over the last few minutes. So that is why the National Weather Service went ahead with a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for most of Winnebago County. Catherine saying 20th Street and Samuelson, super windy. So that's around what we were talking about there in terms of the Rockford Airport. Maybe seeing a part of the cell starting to strengthen pretty much right on top of the airport, moving off to the north and east. But the severe part of the thunderstorm, it looks like we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. So let's see where that is going to be in effect for. So this is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for the areas of, let's take a look here and see where this new warning is for here. And I'm just, may have to manually handle this here. Now, for some reason, I do not have the, of course. The weather computer decides to act up here. So give me just 1 second. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for DeKalb and Lee counties. So this is going to be for that southern part of the storm here. I'll get back to it as soon as I can, but this is for a severe thunderstorm for southeastern Lee and southwestern DeKalb counties until 4:45. Thunderstorms from a line from near Sublette to Mendota, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So we're looking at 60 mile per hour wind gusts in the Paw Paw area. So we'll be talking about areas east of Sublette. So we're talking about areas like Paw Paw, and then also into southern DeKalb County. So places like Shabana, Waterman, Hinckley could be seeing a severe thunderstorm rolling into your area, as well as Salmonauke and Sandwich. So let's actually take the downtown cam full here. So this is that severe thunderstorm now rolling into Winnebago County. 60 mile per hour wind gusts associated with this. So if you are in Rockford, if you are in Loves Park, McChesney Park, this is where we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is also for Rockton, Roscoe, and South Beloit. Now, I have a feeling that maybe areas like South Beloit, the farther north you go, maybe just passing to the south, the storm may be passing just to the south. However, nonetheless, take this storm seriously. If you are in Winnebago County, there you see the dark clouds moving into downtown Rockford right now. We could have a 60 mile per hour wind gust. We also could have some hail with this. We were noticing maybe some signs of a hail core developing within that thunderstorm. That's going to be a concern that we'll have to see if this thunderstorm continues to strengthen right on top of Winnebago County. So downtown Rockford, you're pretty much under the brunt of this right now. And there you see our tower camera. This is just to the north of Winnebago. So I think the storm just passed to our south and east. So if I can ask our director, maybe kind of point the camera, turn it to the right a little bit. That'll be looking more to the east, moving or looking closer towards the city. And we may be able to get a better look, towards the, the backside of this thunderstorm. So yeah, just kind of keep it going just like that. Yeah, we'll just have torrents of rain. Yeah, it's going to be hard to see anything there. It's just going to be very, very heavy rain. This is where we're talking about where we could have some potential flooding in there as well. So really want to be watching out here, especially as we're talking about going into an urban area. Flooding could really become a concern here as we are talking about the very heavy rainfall rolling through parts of Winnebago County. So let's take a look here. I got the weather data back up and running here. So I do want to show you this new severe thunderstorm warning for the southeastern corner of Lee and then also the southwestern corner of DeKalb County. So this is that area south of US 30 that I was talking about, that we have that southern kind of area that we're watching out for. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45, 60 mile per hour wind gusts along the I-39 corridor south of US 30. So places like Paw Paw, the community of Lee, and then into southwestern DeKalb County. So let me even zoom in just a little bit farther just so we can get some of the other communities that are outlined here. So there's Paw Paw. Waterman sits right here. This is Route 23, and then US 30, US 34 here. So Sandwich and Salmonauke not included in this warning, but areas like Shabana and points to the south under a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45. Let me get an update here on the radar here for those that are tuning in from this part of our area. So this is an area of thunderstorms here near West Brooklyn, moving out of Sublette, pretty much moving right along the Lee and LaSalle County line, about to cross into DeKalb County. This area is near Earlville right here along US 34. Mendota now starting to get in on the action as well. So there's that one severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued here moments ago. This is in effect until 4:45. Haven't heard any reports of damage in this area as well, but still, nonetheless, something we are going to be keeping an eye on. We are hearing about the outflow, how we've been talking about here. It actually looks like it's that little thin green line right there is the kind of outflow away from these thunderstorms. Hearing about it kicking up a lot of dirt and dust between Paw Paw and Mendota. So in this very rural area, a whole lot of agricultural area. So we've seen this kind of before with these gusty winds, kind of kicking up some of the tilled dirt and the dust out there in the fields. So this could also be a concern. So nonetheless, the thunderstorm activity, but also potentially some reduced visibilities with blowing dust associated with these very strong winds, up to 60 miles per hour across far southeastern Lee County and southwestern DeKalb County. Now let's get you back over to Winnebago County. Pretty much that storm right on top of the city of Rockford. We can see a whole lot of lightning with this as well. Let's take a look here at the amount of lightning. So why we want to take this seriously? Because there is tremendous amount of lightning with this. 35 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes, and maybe has toned down some just a little bit. That would be some good news, but still, take this storm seriously. Get inside, get away from the windows with that potential tree damage. And a lot of people are reporting that it is very windy, especially around the Rockford Airport. If you have any kind of reports across the area, and especially in this area in Rockford and into the parks, Loves Park and McChesney Park, let us know. We're also into New Milford as well. It's where we've gotten a lot of reports near 20th and Samuelson, getting a whole lot of wind. We had a 54 mile per hour wind gust at the Rockford Airport. That's what triggered this severe thunderstorm warning. You know, Crystal's saying it's right by the airport, getting pretty windy. Heavy rains, high winds in Winnebago, very cloudy in Loves Park. Terry in DeKalb County saying it's very windy. So we're talking about a whole lot of wind across much of the area associated with these thunderstorms, and especially with this thunderstorm here in Rockford. I want to take a look at the hail just real quick. We may have seen a quick pulse up of the hail. This is going to be just to the south of the community of Seward here in far southwestern Winnebago County. This is what I was looking at with the storm before, and then it got severe warned, but maybe kind of trailing off a little bit as it went towards Winnebago and towards the west side of Rockford. So maybe not quite seeing the hail signature quite anymore, but it's also the velocities, how we see those kind of brighter colors there. And that's going to be where we see potentially some stronger wind gusts moving across the western and northern parts of Rockford, and then eventually towards Loves Park and McChesney Park here in the next few minutes here. So what I want to do is just kind of tell you, if people are just jumping in, they're hearing they're under severe thunderstorm warning, here's what you should do. Move away from the windows. Just try to get inside away from the windows. When we have wind gusts this strong, we could see tree limbs coming down. That could damage windows to your home if they fall onto your home. Also, potentially looking at damage to power lines. So be prepared for power outages. I know it's Father's Day. I know it's 90 degrees outside. We want to be out, maybe at the pool. Just get inside until this thunderstorm passes. This is, when we have severe thunderstorm warnings, these are serious situations here. So be ready for potential tree and power line damage. Be ready for power outages. And then also, especially when we're talking about such an urban area in the city of Rockford, watch out for areas of flooding, especially across, some of the common spots in the city of Rockford where we could have some flooding, around Swedish American, I know, and State Street, and then across the south side towards Charles and Broadway. Typical places that we see some flooding when we have this kind of downpours like this. So if you know any flood-prone areas and you're going to be out and about, really just take it safe, okay? Especially as these thunderstorms pass. Obviously, we don't want you traveling during a severe thunderstorm warning, but once the storm passes, just be mindful. We could have some areas of flooding once this thunderstorm rolls through. So we'll take you back to exact track radar. And seeing the main thunderstorm here across the west side of Rockford. This is Kilburn Avenue going up towards Durand. This is Route 250, or this is Route 2, I should say, going up towards Roscoe and into South Beloit. And then here's Route 251 there, going up the pretty much kind of following on the east side of the river. So it looks like this is still off to the west of Route 2. Moving up towards Loves Park, McChesney Park, and then here's South Beloit, Rockton, and Roscoe. Here's Route 173, so McChesney Park here, then coming out towards Poplar Grove. There's another cell trying to develop here pretty much right on top of Cherry Valley. I don't see any lightning with that right now, but could have some very heavy rain in that kind of construction area too, so have to deal with that as well between I-39 and I-90 with the bypass there as well. So could have some very heavy rain there. But the main story is this severe thunderstorm across Winnebago County. National Weather Service reporting a tree limb down in somewhere in the city of Rockford. They don't specify where that happened, but I would imagine it may be somewhere on the west side. But I'll check in with them just to make sure where that was. Still looking at gusty winds and frequent lightning. A weather station in Loves Park just gusted to 60 miles per hour. So we're still looking at severe level wind gusts moving into Loves Park and McChesney Park. So this is why we say head inside. Just stay away from those windows, as we could have some tree damage here moving through Winnebago County. Sean is saying very windy in McChesney Park right now. Terry's saying starting to pour down outside of Kingston. Tanya is saying pouring and very strong winds in Lee Center. Terry's saying went through a dust storm, wind picked up really bad, and that's outside of Kingston here. So this is northern Winnebago, or northern DeKalb County, I should say. We do have some other cells that are trying to develop off to the south. These are not severe as of yet, but this is also why, there you see that thin green line. So there's Kingston right about there, and that wind just came through. So that's some pretty strong wind gusts just came through Kingston. If you have any kind of reports that you have, or if you have any pictures, try to send them into our Facebook feed if you can, or through our email, news@wrex.com. Of course, we'll like to send those to the National Weather Service as well, so that they can get the latest information out for their partners as well, and then also be able to issue warnings for the areas that are getting the heaviest amounts of damage. So also hearing reports of damage by a gas station along US 20 in Rockford. So there is multiple reports of tree damage in the Rockford area associated with this thunderstorm, now rolling into the Loves Park and McChesney Park area, and then on northward towards Roscoe, Rockton, and South Beloit here. So here's the leading edge of the activity, just starting to work into Roscoe, right along the Rock River right now, and then we'll kind of pan further down. Now starting to get into the east side of Rockford, and starting to cross the Rock River into McChesney Park. So this is really a lot of residential area along here between Loves Park and McChesney Park. And then here's Route 173 there. And then there's the interstate, I-39. There's the exit to Route 173. Looking at the heaviest of the rain right now across the mostly rural parts of the area in Winnebago County, moving into Loves Park and McChesney Park, and then towards Roscoe here in the next few minutes. Non-severe activity near Cherry Valley, so it's I'll bet it's pouring across Cherry Valley right now, and then into southern parts of Boone County right now, but that is not any kind of severe activity, at least as of right now. We'll continue to monitor that situation if it does strengthen a little bit, but still looking at, so there we have Irene and Cherry Valley getting very windy. So that's why we're watching these thunderstorms here closely. This is forming pretty much right where that outflow boundary is. So we're going to be seeing that potentially that outflow boundary kicks up new thunderstorms, and they could get really windy really fast. So we start to see this activity starting to strengthen here a little bit. We'll continue to monitor that situation. That would be coming in towards Belvedere. So if you're in Belvedere right now, expect some pretty strong wind gusts here in the next few minutes as this so far non-severe activity continues. We have a estimated 45 mile per hour winds on the north side of DeKalb just after 4 o'clock. Blew down a few small twigs, but that's about it. And that's with winds out ahead of the main activity of thunderstorms. We have one thunderstorm there near 23 and 64 north of Sycamore. This is probably going to be, just to the east of Glidden Road. And then here's the city of DeKalb itself. Notice how we don't have true thunderstorms around you yet, but there's that kind of outflow boundary that we've been talking about. Now it's clearing out of DeKalb County. So that's where the bulk of the initial gusty winds were coming through first, and then we just have to see how strong these thunderstorms are behind the kind of gust front how we've been talking about. So let's zoom out here, and then let's cover the other severe thunderstorm warning we have for the far southern area. This is now coming into Paw Paw. So this is now crossing I-39 here. So Paw Paw sits right here, and then moving into southwestern DeKalb County. This is pretty rural area across southwestern DeKalb County. Shabana sits right about here. Waterman right here near US 30 and Route 23. This will be moving off to the east here. I believe it's moving at about 40 or so miles per hour. So here we have pouring in northwest Rockford, windy in Kirkland, dark. It was starting to rain, but then it stopped. So that's those thunderstorms that we were watching kind of developing with that gust front there. Now it's starting to move towards the Belvedere area. And then honestly, some good news that this thunderstorm here across Winnebago County has been weakening, so that's some good news. Still take shelter, stay inside, stay away from those windows as we continue to have gusty winds rolling through. And you see there's that gust front there. So Poplar Grove, pretty much right now, it's going to get pretty windy here, pretty much here in the next minute or so. And then further on towards Capron here along 173, and then across rural parts of northern Boone County here in the next few minutes or so. But the heaviest of the rain right now, mainly west of the Rock River, starting to nose into Roscoe, Rockton, South Beloit, kind of staying just off to the north of it, may just get grazed by some pretty heavy downpours. But so far, at least, it looks like that this thunderstorm has been weakening just a little bit. Hearing reports of damage to the roof of a gas station in Rockford. So we could have some structural damage with this as well as this moved through. Of course, we'll have to get it confirmed. Of course, we'll have our news department working on that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm starting to think that what we had here was kind of a downburst. Okay, so what happened was the storm really started to gain strength just south of Winnebago. It moved over towards the west side of Rockford, and then it kind of downbursted, which would explain why we're starting to see a little bit of weakening with this. But that's also why we had that 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in Loves Park, and how it got really windy in McChesney Park. May have had a downburst there with this thunderstorm, which would explain why it's starting to weaken just a little bit. Notice how we're not really seeing much or really any lightning with this at this point. So some good news is that this Winnebago County storm is weakening as of right now, but we'll continue to monitor to see if it could pulse back up a little bit. Also seeing a cell developing right on top of Belvedere and also towards the south across rural southern Boone County. Could have some new activity starting to develop. And then also one near the community of Mayfield north of Sycamore. This will be crossing Route 23. Pretty close to Genoa, it looks like at this point. And then moving off to the north and east towards Hampshire there in Kane County. And then the other severe thunderstorm we have right now is in the Paw area. And let's pull up the velocity tool just real quick. Do want to check in on what kind of wind gusts we're seeing with this. And let's check. We'll see. I've been kind of getting some funny readings here. So maybe around 30 miles per hour. Around 34, 35-ish. So not quite to severe levels. As of right now, at least what radar is recording. The bulk of the winds, though, are going to be along that front that we see there that just cleared Waterman, moving over towards Sandwich, Somonauk, and then also towards Hinckley here and Big Rock here in the next few minutes. I didn't necessarily want to do that. So I do want to pan up to... I can guarantee we're probably not seeing very strong wind gusts here in the Rockford area. Yeah, not really seeing very bright signatures there. So let's pull radar back up here. And you see how we have an update there on the severe thunderstorm warning. So most of the city of Rockford is pretty much in the clear, pretty much just the north side and then towards Loves Park and McChesney Park, as well as Roscoe, Rockton, South Beloit, still involved in that severe thunderstorm warning as of right now. Looks like the National Weather Service in Milwaukee is about to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this. So near the Beloit, Clinton areas, and then towards, and there it is. See, I knew it was coming just before it came through. So we can clear that off. Maybe, there we go. Because we're looking right at it. So we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Rock and then most of Walworth counties, essentially along and northwest of I-43. So pretty much from Beloit over towards Delavan and East Troy, now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is to the east of Janesville now. So this is with that thunderstorm moving across Winnebago County. So I would imagine that the Weather Service may issue a new warning for, sorry here, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time here, for Boone County. So just kind of, how we see how we have that little cutout there of what would seem to be the storm path. So the National Weather Service may be considering a warning for northwestern Boone County. These would be areas generally north of Caledonia, so around the Argyle and Caledonia areas. May see a brief severe thunderstorm warning come up as this thunderstorm just kind of crosses over the far northwestern corner of Boone County. Other non-severe thunderstorms continuing in the Belvedere area as we progress later on. So here, let's pull up the big picture here, and then I'll put the radar into motion just so we can get kind of a little bit of a reset here. So first off, that severe thunderstorm warning for the Winnebago County and the city of Rockford has weakened just a little bit, but the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, just out of a course of least regret, putting out a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Rock and then northwestern Walworth counties into southern Wisconsin. That is in effect until, let me pull up that data just in case. That is in effect until 5:15. So that's that southern Wisconsin severe thunderstorm warning. And then we have this other severe thunderstorm warning, far southwest, or far southeastern, I should say, Lee County, southwestern DeKalb County, under a severe thunderstorm warning. That is until 4:45, so for the next about 25 minutes or so. And then notice on the backside of this system, so towards Sterling and Dixon, notice how, this is that low pressure system. We were talking about that small low pressure that's acting as the trigger for these thunderstorms. There's the center of it kind of going right along I-88 right now. So there are some general rain showers kind of wrapping around the back side of it. It's kind of a cool looking radar picture here when you see the backside of this system and the rain showers wrapping around behind it. These are general rain showers, nothing more than that. Any kind of severe activity is going to be ahead of the thunderstorm. Just looking for, oh goodness. We're now getting pictures here from Jeffrey in Dixon of, looks like a tree that kind of just split in half in the Dixon area. So these storms have been meaning business. So when we're under severe thunderstorm warnings here, you really want to take these things seriously, that we have some pretty strong damage here. And it looks like we are seeing more tree damage mainly on the north side of Rockford, it looks like, if I believe, where this is coming in from. Yeah, so now we're starting to get reports of tree damage rolling into the area, into the Rockford area in northern Winnebago County. So if you are in the Beloit area, northern Boone County, so here, let me stop the radar here just real quick, and then let's kind of time out this thunderstorm rolling into southern Wisconsin here, because we've got a lot of viewers I know that do watch us out here across southern Wisconsin. So let's time this out here. And now let's time out the gust front here first. That's what's been doing most of the kind of damage here. And I think I'm going to have to maybe zoom out just a little. Maybe. Let's do, there we go. So Clinton, pretty much right on top of you right now. So it's going to get really windy here right on top of Clinton. And then towards Darien in Walworth County at 4:37. Delavan towards 4:45. And then on into the Milwaukee suburbs here. So that's the gust front here that we were tracking here. And then let's go back to, okay, we already got it set up here. Let's show this activity rolling up I-43. So moving towards Clinton here in the next about 10 to 15 minutes or so. So this outflow boundary is pushing all of these strong wind gusts even 10 to 15 minutes ahead of when any rain is falling in your area. So when we're seeing this kind of signature here on radar, that's showing the edge of the very strong wind gusts. Could be severe 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts across eastern Rock into northwestern Walworth counties before the rain comes in here in the next 10 minutes in Clinton. Darien towards 4:50, Delavan towards the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. So, and while this is here, when we say you're under severe thunderstorm warning, head inside. Head away from the windows because we now have multiple reports of tree damage across the area in Dixon as well as in the city of Rockford here. This is going to be in the vicinity of the Anderson Gardens, not in the gardens, but in the neighborhoods that are kind of around the Anderson Japanese Gardens there on the north side of Rockford, looking at tremendous amounts of tree damage, it looks like. So that's kind of right where we saw that the strength of that thunderstorm rolling in. So that's why you want to stay away from the windows, because with these strong winds with these could have damage to tree limbs, leading to damage to your home if the tree limbs fall on your home, God forbid. And then also could have the tree limbs falling on power lines. Be prepared for power outages if you are under any severe thunderstorm warning that we have going on today. So there's that activity now starting to move out of Winnebago County into Rock County. Far northwestern Boone County could have some strong wind gusts rolling through with that activity, but nonetheless, looks like the bulk of the wind activity has moved off to the north into southern Wisconsin. Do have a cell developed that is now passing off to the north and east of Belvedere. That could be getting close to the Harvard area and areas between Harvard and Marengo here in rural western McHenry County, I should say. And then we continue to watch this area of thunderstorms. Interesting to see maybe a little bit of a Boeing signature near the pretty much at the point where Lee, DeKalb, and LaSalle counties come together, that we could have some strong, locally strong winds there. I'm going to switch back over to our chat session here with the National Weather Service. It's pretty much the National Weather Service saying the strongest thunderstorms continue to be across northern LaSalle County, where we're looking right now, and with the thunderstorms in far northern Winnebago County. They're continuing to show signs of wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour, especially this one that we're seeing right here. And I'm pretty sure we're looking right where we see that, where you see that kind of Boeing signature. That's where we could have some locally stronger wind gusts could be going up right along US 34. So let's put a tracker here on it. Just to give as much notice as we can. This will be moving at about, I know I'm a little zoomed in. That's probably going to be about the best I'll get there. Salmonaught here closer towards 445. Sandwich can't be too much later than that, maybe towards 450. They're kind of just down the road from each other here along US 34. And then towards Little Rock at about 456 here. That's crossing the line into Kane County. We just had some pretty gusty winds rolling through there as well. So Esteban saying got really windy in McChesney Park. Robin saying wind picked up in Poplar Grove. Yeah, very strong wind gusts here. And now we have reports of tree damage here across in Dixon and also into the city of Rockford itself, into Winnebago County. Garrett saying, reporting hail in South Beloit. So let's go back to that northern storm. By the way, while we're doing that, Stephanie's asking about Schaumburg. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's clear that out. And then let's go over to, because Schaumburg is about to be getting into the gust front here. So here's Elgin, Schaumburg pretty much right over here. Looking at this gust front kind of rolling through here in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So it's going to get really windy out here across Kane County here, but that's now starting to clear out of DeKalb County and now starting to move through McHenry County too. So it's going to get pretty windy here in Woodstock here in the next few minutes. If you are watching from Woodstock, it's going to get pretty windy here pretty soon. Same story for Harvard. Watching this severe thunderstorm rolling through. And then also notice how this thunderstorm has just popped up here along the Rock-Walworth County line. We'll have to see what happens when the outflow kind of catches up with it, that we could have some brief intensification, and then what the outflow will actually do is it kind of undercuts these thunderstorms. So that'll act to weaken it then afterwards. So it may pulse up just a little bit, and then it weakens pretty quickly because then it kind of loses the lower level atmosphere that it had. So Garrett reporting hail. Garrett, if you can let me know just kind of what kind of size hail we're looking at there, I would greatly appreciate it. I'll make sure to send that over to the Weather Service. Seeing maybe just a little bit near Roscoe. I haven't quite seen anything popping up near South Beloit, but yeah, if you can let me know if it's, kind of think like a pea size or maybe up to a size of a coin if it's any larger than that. Just let us know, and then I'll make sure to send that report quick to the National Weather Service here. And it looks like as of 4:30, I believe now our Winnebago County warning is now canceled. So and there it is, it's off the board. So now Winnebago County no longer under a severe thunderstorm warning. Pretty much the storm has either weakened and it's moved into Rock County, Wisconsin. So let's pull up the big picture here now. Now we have two thunderstorm areas of severe weather that we're worried about right now. One is across southern Wisconsin, moving away from us. This is moving out of the Beloit area along pretty much right along Interstate 43 up into Walworth County here. So gusty winds just passed through the areas like Clinton and now moving into Walworth County. And then the heavy rain comes in about 10 minutes after the really strong winds come through. So that's what we're looking at in Wisconsin. And then into Lee and DeKalb counties. We have a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:45. So for the next 15 minutes here, looking at the line of storms, pretty much right along the LaSalle County line there. Okay, Garrett's saying it's about a pea to penny sized. Okay, thank you very much. I will send that report off to the National Weather Service. Thank you very much, Garrett, for that report. Sorry, I'm a little quiet here. I'm typing here real quick. I'll just be done in just 1 second. Okay, so now that we have the thunderstorm warning canceled or expired, I should say, for Winnebago County, that storm is now moving into the Beloit area and then towards Clinton and Sharon in eastern Rock County, moving into Walworth County. So that's going to be this northern storm. And then I think the strongest one that we have on the board as of right now is this one, pretty much now moving into southwestern DeKalb County at this point. And then one thing I do want to check here, I want to see what kind of reports that we've been getting. And then I'm going to have to do some zooming in here because now we have damage reports coming in. First off, let's take a look at this near Rochelle. 5-inch in diameter branch down on a home, causing damage to the porch. That's why we are talking about move away from the windows, because if tree limbs are falling on your home, we could have damage to the home. And so it looks like right around 4:10, as that gust front moved through Rochelle, we have a report of a tree branch falling onto a home, causing damage to a porch in that area. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom right in on the city of Rockford, because it looks like we have multiple reports of damage here. So let's pull back the details here. There we go. Okay, so here's an official report here. Roof collapse at the Mobile gas station, US 20 and Meridian Road. So US 20 Meridian Road, looks like we had a gas station that a portion of the roof collapsed. Let me just make sure. Okay, so there's a roof collapse at the mobile gas station at US 20. Our news department is going to be on the way there just to try to get the information there that just make sure that we can make sure everyone is safe there. But sounds like we have had a roof collapse in Rockford there, US 20 Meridian Road. As that thunderstorm turned severe, it really looks like that may have been where that downburst happened. It was right on the west side of Rockford. Looks like it may have caused a roof collapse. And then also into the Rockford area, 5 to 6 inch diameter tree limb down near North Main and Auburn. And that's the roundabout. That's a nightmare to deal with anyway, let alone when we've got tree damage in that area. So near the Main and Auburn roundabout as well. And we also have damage reports coming in the area of the Japanese Gardens as well as Sinisippi Park of tree damage there as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get all this info out here as soon as we can just to make sure that we're trying to keep all our details here across as we I mean, we're getting kind of just damage reports just coming in to pretty much just at a rapid pace here. So we're just trying to keep up with all of them. Let's zoom back out here because it looks like we had other damage into Carroll County, it looks like. Yes, we did. So let's zoom in here farther to the west here. Let's get to the details here. There we go. So maybe near Lanark. Yeah, County Dispatch reporting tree down in the community of Lanark. And then also maybe had one more Chadwick area. Tree fell on a squad car in the town of Chadwick too. So that's another thing that we worry about is people in cars. Now that's also a concern too. That as we watch for these tree limbs falling, they can fall on houses, they can fall on power lines, they can fall on your car. So this is why we say get inside away from windows. That's why we're talking about, as we tell you about this tree damage and the winds that we're talking about, this is why, that's why we try to say practice what we preach. That's why we want to be moving inside away from the windows, because when we're hearing about trees down on cars, trees down on porches in Rochelle, and then, of course, our news team is going to be investigating that roof collapse, it looks like, at a gas station in Rockford. Looks like that's kind of been an area where we've seen a lot of damages across the west side of Rockford. Now, granted, more populated area, there are more people around to see it. We may see some more damage across the rural parts of our area, but we just have not seen it quite yet. So let's do one more reset here in terms of the big picture here. So severe thunderstorm warning continues for eastern Rock, northwestern Walworth, as well as for southwestern DeKalb County, and pretty much I think Lee County is in the clear from this. This thunderstorm warning is in effect until 4:45, so less than 10 minutes on that. This warning for Rock and Walworth is in effect until 5:15. Let me see where thank you all for sending in reports. Jim's saying dark skies, a lot of thunder here by US 20 in Rydot and Stevenson County. Okay. Yeah, thankfully Stevenson County kind of got spared from this. That one storm popped up. We saw it pop up near Polo, and then it really gained strength once it got towards Winnebago and towards the west side of Rockford, and it looks like that's kind of a narrow area there where we're seeing some damage. We may even had, I don't want to call it a microburst quite yet because we still just have to investigate what kind of damage happened, but that's kind of what I'm starting to see there, is that we're seeing that potential downburst of that thunderstorm, and that would explain why it weakened as we saw it on Exact Track radar moving through McChesney Park and Loves Park. Corey saying tree damage blew over a shed, the northwest side of Rockford, Lake Wood Hills. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be that area around the northwest side of Rockford in towards Winnebago, pretty much between Winnebago and the west side of Rockford up towards Loves Park. If you have any pictures that you can send in safely, let the storms pass and then take pictures of the damage after the fact. But if you can send them to news@wrex.com. That's our email account. Everybody will get that. And then you can also send it to our weather community on Facebook, as well as if you get it on your phone, you can send them in through the 13 Weather Authority app. So there are multiple ways that you can send in pictures. If you see anything, let us know. Of course, we want to make sure that everybody is staying safe, and we want to give as much of a warning as we can to those out ahead of these storms. So areas kind of north of Lake Geneva, this is that thunderstorm that we were talking about. Now, actually here, let me pull up let's zoom in on it here. On the Rock and Walworth, so there's a thunderstorm that developed ahead of it, and there's kind of, I would just going to call it the remnants of the storm that went through the west side of Rockford. And that kind of supports my thinking about how we may have had a downburst there through central Winnebago County, because notice how weak it is now. And there's the gust front associated with it. There's the very strong wind gusts. And then there's that thunderstorm that popped up out ahead of it. This is just to the south of Whitewater and north of Darien. Delvin's right here. East Troy is about right here. So now we could have a narrow corridor of strong winds going into the Milwaukee suburbs here eventually. And then let's kind of drag our way south here. There's the outflow boundary, so just clearing Woodstock right now, and now eventually moving into the Chicago suburbs at this point. There you see it pretty much right along the Fox River from Elgin to Aurora. St. Charles is right there. Seeing that gust front moving through. 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with this gust front. That's pretty much kind of been the consistent thing of what we've been seeing with that. And it looks like we're about to get this severe thunderstorm warning off the board in southwestern DeKalb County. Yes, it's going to expire at 4:45. So now we're going to have that severe thunderstorm warning for southern DeKalb County expiring in the next 4 minutes. And then also going to see the National Weather Service into the Chicago suburbs now, issuing a blowing dust advisory. How we've been talking about how the winds have been kicking up some dust in the open fields across this area. Well, now the Weather Service has issued a blowing dust advisory, which is a true thing, I swear. Not really a common thing that we see around here, but still, nonetheless, could have some low visibilities with the dust rolling into the Chicago suburbs here. So if you know anybody driving into the city, pretty much along I-90 or I-88, give them a heads up that there are some very strong wind gusts and also kicking up a lot of dust, and that's really going to lower visibilities into the Chicago suburbs here. And now we're hearing from Winnebago County Emergency Management that there's reported widespread tree damage along Meridian Road from Cunningham up to Auburn Street. So that is a pretty wide stretch of Meridian Road. We'll kind of zoom in now as we kind of go from tracking the storms right now. So again, just to repeat, this thunderstorm warning for southeastern Lee, southwestern DeKalb is going off the board. It's going to be expiring here at 4:45. So in 2 minutes now, that thunderstorm warning is going to be off the board. And and you can see it as well as I can. It looks like it has pretty much weakened significantly here, and it looks like not really conducive to any kind of wind damage as of yet. Still some sporadic showers, no thunderstorms here across DeKalb County, and then also moving up into McHenry County. Could have a good little cell popping up here just to the south of Woodstock, pretty much between Woodstock and Algonquin here, close to Crystal Lake. That can be moving up to McHenry here in the next few minutes. And then pretty much the lone active severe thunderstorm warning we have at this point is moving out of our area across eastern Rock and into Walworth. I'm just going to ask our control room if we have any pictures queued up. Let me know and we'll take them. If not, that's okay. But as we kind of turn over from tracking imminent severe weather, we're now looking at damage reports coming in. So as of 4:45, this severe thunderstorm warning for Lee and DeKalb counties is going off the board, and the only one is for eastern Rock into Walworth counties, and I think really the main severe weather threat now moving into Walworth County here, and that warning is in effect until 5:15, so for the next half hour. So again, I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions or any kind of damage reports to come in, please send them in to us. We're going to try to just kind of assess what kind of damage and where. It sounds like Meridian Road on pretty much far western Rockford. What we're hearing from the head of emergency management in Winnebago County is from Cunningham up to Auburn Street, which is a pretty large part, which is a pretty long stretch of Meridian Road. Hearing about some pretty significant damage there and onwards. And I know our news department is here going to be heading out to these areas and getting more information. So there we saw that severe thunderstorm warning just taken off for Lee and DeKalb, and then an update to that warning now clearing the Beloit and Clinton and Sharon areas. So this is now pretty much rural parts of Rock County here east of Janesville into northwestern Walworth County. As for, because I see Bryn just asking, are we done with rain in Rockford? Not quite yet. We have some very general rain showers, nothing severe or anything like that. This is kind of that low pressure center that we've been talking about triggering these thunderstorms, kind of pretty much going right along I-88, right on top of Dixon, and there are some rain showers kind of spinning all around it. So I'll put the radar in a loop here, and you can see how maybe seeing some rain showers skirting by, but nothing in terms of any kind of severe weather. Once this area of thunderstorm activity rolls out, the severe weather threat is over. And in fact, before we delve into the damage once more, let's check in on the watch. Okay. Greene County, Wisconsin, Joe Davis, Carroll, Whiteside, and Stevenson counties no longer under the severe thunderstorm watch. And I would anticipate that this watch gets cleared out for the rest of the area. It's just, we just got to get the last of the thunderstorms out. So the county shaded in pink, still under a watch until 8 o'clock, but realistically, once the thunderstorms roll past, we're pretty much done for severe weather in terms of tonight. So, and looking at the damage here, sorry, I'm just getting some new info. My goodness. Yeah. I'll just ask our director if you can get that on air. Just got a picture from the gas station in Rockford. If you can send that, if you can get that on air, wow. And thankfully, our reporter Josh Schumann is out there, says no injuries, thankfully. And I'll tell you what, looking at this video, that is a miracle. So, Max, what was that? I'm sorry? Okay, okay. Thank you. I know I'm kind of being demanding here a little bit. I'm sorry. There is some significant damage here to that gas station. As soon as we get that, of course, we will pass that along to you. But that is some... Wow, so that it looks like the awning kind of over the gas pumps, kind of traditionally, when you see a gas station, you have the awning over all the gas pumps. Looks like that literally just collapsed. So some pretty startling images from that. So, that's why we say you try to just stay inside, get out of your car, and just try to stay home. Let the storms pass before you head out, because that is significant damage there, and as soon as we can get that, of course, we will show that to you. Seeing a whole lot of reports of tree damage across central Winnebago County. So let's pull up the storm reports here. Hang on. I've got about 6 different chat sessions I'm watching here, and I've got notifications up the wazoo right now. So there's the reports. And then we'll kind of zoom in on the Rockford area as of right now, because you can see how we have a lot of the reports, and you can kind of see where Meridian Road is outlined right there. And now, just as a point of, I guess, transparency here, our station is right there. And this thunderstorm looks like it rolled through along Meridian Road just to our east. I wasn't looking outside, obviously. I didn't notice any kind of really in terms of strong winds here at our station here, and that just goes to show how localized this damage can really be. That we're talking about significant damage in the Meridian, on Meridian Road here, and then also into the northwest side of Rockford. as well, near Maine and Auburn there. And also we've had reports of tree damage in the vicinity of Sinisippi Park there along the river just on the west side. So, and then also had a weather station in Loves Park reporting 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that is some very localized damage, and unfortunately went through a rather populated area too. So thankfully, we haven't heard, and as Josh Schumann reported here, that we have no reports of any kind of injuries there at the gas station there at US 20 and Meridian. But yeah, I mean, as soon as we get that picture up, we'll send it on over to you. But, there's kind of the damage that we're talking about here. Let me pull up, because I think one of these is new. There near Auburn. There it is. Look at that. That is just amazing how we didn't have any injuries there. That's so pretty much just to show you what we're looking at. So this is the mobile gas station at US 20 and Meridian. This is a still shot here from our own Josh Schumann, who's reporting there right now, showing essentially the awning or the canopy, whatever word you want to give it, over the gas pumps that are all below it. Looks like that just collapsed from the wind gusts there, likely over 60 miles per hour. Yeah, Josh telling us now, yep, the pumps are destroyed. And that is, I mean, can you imagine being under that? That is just that's an amazing thing to see there. And of course, we just want to make sure to be perfectly clear, no injuries there. So thankfully, no reports of injuries with that, but that is just an incredible picture. The new report here is 6 to 7 inch tree damage, tree limb down there at the other TV stations, of course, that are along Meridian Road too. So they kind of got the brunt of this at this point. So thankfully, hearing everybody's okay. Thankfully, haven't had any kind of injury reports. So thankfully, hearing a whole lot of wind damage, but thankfully not a lot of injuries, or any injuries, I should say, in any part of the area. So as we zoom out, so here's the Rockford damage right here. Had report of tree damage to a porch in the Rochelle area, and then also some damage reported in Carroll and now into Whiteside County. Do want to check this real quick. Power lines down from the storms in Morrison. So that's why, we've kind of heard it all at this point. Damage to trees and tree damage causing damage to homes and power lines, as well as, we even had trees down on top of cars in Carroll County. So these really strong thunderstorms there. Okay, Bryn saying there was a car accident with injuries off of Longwood Road and Crosby in Rockford. We'll have to see if that's related to the weather or not. But still, we've also heard, we had someone in the chat saying that there was damage near Longwood in terms of tree damage in the city of Rockford. There's another shot from Josh Schumann. And there you see, the gas pump just crumpled under the canopy there that just collapsed, and you would have, it has to be due to the wind gusts there. Just an incredible view of the damage that is across the west side of Rockford at this point from this severe thunderstorm that came through. Trying to get a recollection here in terms of timing. When this warning was issued. Let's see here. Looks like it was, the severe thunderstorm warning was issued at 3:49. And then, of course, we'll have to see just what time the damage actually occurred in this area. Yeah, my goodness, that is just a scary sight to see. I mean, thankfully, no injuries. Again, I want to stress that if people are joining us looking at that picture, that's the mobile gas station at US 20 Meridian. No injuries reported, thankfully. So this is just, one part of some widespread damage near Meridian Road and across the northwest side of Rockford, and then also damage across the board in Carroll County, where we had trees on a squad car falling on cars in Carroll County. Also trees causing power line damage in Whiteside County, damage to a home near Rochelle due to the winds, and a new one here, it looks like near the near the DeKalb-Kane County line. Trees down, blocking both lanes of traffic on West County Line Road at Winters Road in Maple Park. So still now starting to see some more damage reports coming in. Oh man, we can't see. Into Kane County too. So this is just continuing to move east. Oh my goodness. Report that a tree fell on a child, resulting in an injury in Campton Hills in Kane County. That is a very sad situation there, unfortunately. This is kind of the bad things that we see with these thunderstorms as they roll through, is that, sometimes injuries do happen, and thankfully we didn't see any injuries in with the gas station damage there in Rockford, but it sounds like now we do have an injury to a child in Kane County due to the wind gusts from these thunderstorms. So a sad situation there as we continue to look at the damage. Let's get an update here on the thunderstorms as they continue to roll through. So you can see non-severe showers, and I'm not even seeing any lightning with that there through DeKalb County. This is all just general rain shower activity here. Now we're sitting at 5 o'clock. This is kind of just moving off to the east. So general rain showers, that's about it. Once any kind of storms pass, we're in the clear in terms of severe weather. Our only severe thunderstorm is right now across Walworth County, moving into the Milwaukee suburbs here. And it looks like there's a new severe thunderstorm warning into the western suburbs. It looks like into the Waukesha area. So with this thunderstorm, and there you see, there's that storm that we were talking about along the outflow boundary. Notice how it looks like it's pulsed up a little bit. So that's moving into the western suburbs of Milwaukee. It looks like it may dodge the city itself to the west and north. But nonetheless, we also have another storm near McHenry moving off to the northeast that may impact the Racine and Kenosha areas. But so far, I'm pretty much inclined to say across most of the area our severe weather threat is over. I just want to, kind of let these thunderstorms ride out through DeKalb and then into McHenry counties. But once the general rain showers move in, none of this is going to be severe. Could we have a little bit of gusty winds? Yes, but nothing in terms of any kind of severe level like we saw with the damage through Winnebago and into really much of northern Illinois itself. So let's kind of zoom into Rockford here, because I know there's a lot of damage cleanup now going on across the western side of Rockford. Looks like mainly the rain showers are going to be along the south side of Rockford, generally south of State Street. But this is, again, nothing really too impactful here, just some general rain showers. Farther to the north, looking dry at this point, and we'll continue to have this activity moving off to the east, and then we'll kind of clear things out as we go along. I would imagine it is bringing quite a relief from the heat and humidity here. Let me pull up my computer here, and let's pull up the heat and humidity situation. So let's pull up the temperatures right now. I would imagine, yeah. Okay, and this is going to be one of those interesting situations where the numerical data is going to kind of update quicker than the colors on the map here. So just kind of bear with me here. Now pretty much the entire area is sitting in the mid-70s. So thankfully just getting a little bit of relief from the heat and humidity. And thankfully, as we're going out and cleaning up from the damage from this, we're not dealing with that excessive kind of heat that thankfully now, starting to get some more, at least comfortable weather. I mean, beforehand, you just felt like, yeah, it's going to storm today. And it certainly did so across our entire area. So I did want to check the power outage situation. But first, let's take a look here at the warning for Rock and Walworth goes for the next 15 minutes, so until 5:15. But notice how the rest of the area is in the clear. So let's kind of pull up here. Not sure. Oh, that's why. Let's get that going. And there we go. So let's kind of just show the big picture here. No active warnings across the entire area, just looking at far northeastern Rock and into northwestern Walworth counties, severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15. And honestly, that thunderstorm is now starting to move out of Walworth County, so pretty much I think we're just about in the clear. Let's pull up exact track radar just real quick. There's that thunderstorm into Walworth County. It's going to be moving off into, looks like Waukesha County here in the next about 15 minutes or so. So 5:15 for that severe thunderstorm warning. Elsewhere, pretty much done in terms of severe weather, just some general rain showers that will be moving off to the east, and that is about it in terms of the imminent severe weather situation. In terms of power outages, I just want to give a quick update on that. Let's pull it up full screen. There we go. And I'll try to give report by county. So not hearing about any power outages in Boone County, none in DeKalb County, not hearing any in Joe Davis County. Lee County, we have about 689 customers without power. Ogle County, about 423 customers without power. Stevenson County, only 18 customers without power. Winnebago County, there are 1,694 customers without power in Winnebago County. And the bulk of that is in that same corridor that we've been talking about. And actually, what I want to do is I'll zoom in here just to kind of, based on the outage map that we have from ComEd, kind of just want to give a general area. So we have some power outages reported in the Winnebago area, and then it kind of goes along like that. That's about the general area that we're talking about in terms of seeing the bulk of the tree damage. How we were talking about Meridian Road right along here, seeing that tree damage, and then into the northwestern side of Rockford. And we also had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Loves Park. So it's going to be in this kind of corridor here from Winnebago to the western side of Rockford and off to the north and then towards Loves Park. That's going to be about the corridor here where we have a damage swath here. And this is kind of classic, kind of just how the things have been reported, things that are going through my mind, kind of a classic sign of what we call a downburst. So that's essentially a gust of air that comes down from the thunderstorm, and then it fans out essentially in mostly all directions, although it may have been kind of forward propagated, if you will, so moving out ahead of the thunderstorm. And then that's where we have this kind of localized swath of damage here, a lot of tree damage, and then that gas station there along Meridian and US 20. And then further off to the north and west, or north and east, I should say, in towards Loves Park. So that is the, okay, we have the outage map here. If our director can pull that up here just to show kind of where the power outages are right now. And then as we will take a look here in just a second, kind of seeing the outages pretty much just focused right in that little corridor there near Winnebago and towards the city of Rockford itself. Notice how there's, the multi-dozen damaged little or power outage indicators there. 4 in the village of Winnebago itself, 15 across far western parts of Rockford, and then 17. That's number of outages. That's not number of customers. That is just the number of outages. There are about 1,600, I believe, was the last count there in terms of power outages in Winnebago County itself. Yeah, nearly 1,700 customers without power in terms of just Winnebago County itself. And the vast majority of that is going to be in the Winnebago area, as well as in the western side of the city of Rockford. So at this point, I think with the severe weather threat pretty much cleared out of the area at this point, and I'll clear out this here just for a second, and we'll put we'll get the big picture view here, and then we'll kind of put it on a loop here just to show how general rain showers pivoting off to the east, but then that's about it in terms of precipitation. Pretty much, I think our severe weather threat is in the clear. Just have that one thunderstorm in Walworth County now moving into the western Milwaukee suburbs, moving away from our area, and thunderstorms now just too weak to kind of bring any kind of severe weather anywhere else. So at this point, I think we'll jump off of our streaming platforms, and I say that, and there's about to be a giant severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, there you go, for the pretty much, and it even goes into the city here. So they're just looking at very strong winds associated with this activity kind of rolling through. I didn't know I still had the pen activated. But nonetheless, looking at strong winds moving into the Chicago suburbs and into the city itself. So there's a pretty large severe thunderstorm warning there, but that is well to the east of us, and pretty much just kind of shows in detail how pretty much we are in the clear in terms of any severe weather. So we're going to jump off of our streaming platforms for now. Stay tuned for any further coverage here in terms of damage coming in from the area. And of course, if you have any information of damage, send that over to us either on Facebook or email news@wrex.com for the latest to send that in to us, any kind of damage that you may see out there. And of course, and just make sure to stay safe out there. If you do have to do any cleanup out there, just try to stay safe. And also, thankfully, seeing some much more comfortable conditions for the rest of the night now that the temperatures have cooled off considerably once those thunderstorms roll through. And of course, we'll have a full recap tonight on 13 News at 10. Normally, we would be in a broadcast here at 5 o'clock, but we do have the golf tournament going on NBC today. So we will have a full recap on 13 News at 10. And of course, make sure to check in on WREX.com. We will continue to update any kind of damage information that we receive and any new pictures. Make sure to log on to WREX.com and also check in on our social platforms as we get new information. So thanks for joining us. Thank you for staying safe tonight as we continue to see just general rain showers clearing out. The severe weather threat is pretty much now done for the area. So thanks for joining us again. Stay tuned for 13 News at 10 for the latest in terms of damage and a full recap. And of course, stay safe from the heat and humidity coming up for the next week. I'll have a full recap of the forecast, and a hot and humid one at that. That's coming up tonight at 10. But thanks for joining us. Stay safe and good evening.